Okay, we're here today with the 20, what year, Rice Leadership class?
Let's say 2021.
2021 Rice Leadership class. So the Rice Leadership program is a fantastic program that's put on through the Rice Foundation and managed by USA Rice Federation. And both Jeremy and I went through the class in previous years, and today they're here on our farm visiting. They'll go over all the different rice regions in the United States before the class is over. And the program is funded by generous donations from John Deere, American Credit Commodity Company, and Rice Tech. So we're grateful for those for helping continue the education of people in the rice industry. So we got here Steve Linscombe, Dr. Steve Linscombe, who is the director of the program now, and bringing the class on a tour. So would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're doing here today and what you're doing on this trip?
Yeah, this is the second session for this group. They actually were selected at the Outlook conference in 2019, and of necessity the program more or less shut down last year with the pandemic, but we were able to start back up, and the group went to Texas and Louisiana in March. And on this trip here, we started out Sunday in Missouri. On Monday we toured the rice area of the Boot Hill of Missouri. On Tuesday we toured the delta of Mississippi, starting in Memphis, going down, ending up at Stoneville at the research station, Mississippi State Research Station at Stoneville. Yesterday we had a couple of sessions with one primarily on building leadership skills. We also had Lydia, Holmes, and Josh Hankins with USA Rice talking about their various programs to assist the rice industry, and we had Kelly Robbins with the Arkansas Rice Federation talking about the value of that group. Today we're here on Isbell Farm. This afternoon we will visit both producers and rice and co-ops. End up at Five Oaks this evening, where we'll have a dinner for the Arkansas leadership alumni, as well as just leadership in general. And tomorrow we'll end up on the Rice University of Arkansas Rice Research Station out of Stuttgart.
Great. So the class is made up each year of 5 producers and 2 industry people, and we got those here in the van with us. You guys just briefly want to introduce yourself?
My name is Elliot Maschmann. I'm from Warren, Missouri, and I'm a district sales manager for Rice Tech in the Missouri Boot Hill.
Garrett Williams, Stuttgart, Arkansas, sales manager for Producers Rice Mill.
I'm Christine Wiley, a California rice farmer, and on the board of directors for Farmers Rice Cooperative and on the California Research Board.
I'm Jeremy Jones with Isbell Farms, here with the USA Rice Leadership class. Just giving them a little tour of the farm. I'm going to pass this over and let everybody introduce themselves.
I'm Derek Sohnrey. I'm a California farmer, 5th generation. We farm rice and almonds, and we also process almonds for retail sale. I'm Adam Shea. I direct the sustainability program at Rice and Foods in Stuttgart, Arkansas.
Mallory Everett. I'm the tech service and research rep for Valent in Arkansas, West Tennessee, the Boot Hill, Missouri, and Mississippi.
I'm Lydia Holmes. I'm the director of sustainability for USA Rice.
This last couple days you've been traveling with the Rice Leadership Group. What have you gained from that experience with them and from what you've seen? You see a lot of this stuff from your own perspective, being with the group. What's some of your takeaways?
I think one of the cool things to see is you start talking about sustainability with this group and you see lots of head nods. I think one of the things we're seeing across the industry is people are really starting to get it and starting to understand the talking points. These are things that the industry's been doing for a long time and thinking about for a long time, but now people are starting to hear it all the time that those things are connected to what the world is calling sustainability. So that's been fun to see.
Just how different the rice industry is. There's 6 states that we're visiting, and while we face a lot of the same issues, it's just so unbelievably different. We face water issues here in Arkansas, but even the way that we farm from South Arkansas to the Northeast Arkansas can be different. So some of the things that I thought were solutions to these problems, you get down to Texas, Louisiana, and it's not even possible to irrigate that way. So it's just been really interesting to see just how different it is.
Well, we're on our second session now, and I know we're going to California, so there's much more to see. But the interesting part, just one of the interesting things, is just how people do it differently. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, all the states do it a little bit differently, and I just think that's incredible.
So it's totally different than what we do in California with your crop rotations, and the row rice has been pretty interesting to me because we're always zero grade flooded rice, and which is actually pretty similar to your farm. It's interesting to finally see a farm that's been doing zero grade for that many years.
Yeah.
It's just a totally, and then the no-till, we have plenty of time in the spring to work the ground, get it exactly how we want it, and it sounds like out here it's you don't have that luxury, and so the no-till dry seeding or drilling the seed is the popular way to go.
Tell me a little bit about this trip. What have you? You're from Stuttgart, so you're just over here, but you're seeing this through a different lens with the class and kind of seeing how the other students, how the other people perceive it. What have you seen about our region that you see differently now from this new perspective?
Going into this trip, I was kind of scratching my head a little bit, to be honest with you, of what am I going to find different? I grew up in the Boot Hill scouting rice, worked for Horizon Ag in Arkansas, Missouri, and a little bit in Mississippi, so got to see a lot of familiar faces. But then you get on this trip, and we're standing here right now 15 miles or so from my house, and this area is totally different from anywhere else on the prairie, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time here in this immediate area. And honestly, this is more like Missouri to me. A lot of zero grade. You'll do some water seeding. When I was young, growing up in rice, there was a lot of continuous rice, a lot of water seeding on zero grade in North Arkansas and Missouri. It's been really interesting getting to talk to the California people about it. Some of the things we've seen, especially in this area of Arkansas over the past couple of days, we have a lot more levees than they've probably ever seen in their life. So,
yeah.
But overall, I think it's been a really good trip. We've met with a lot of different people that all come from different segments of the industry. So it's been really good.
It was really interesting for me to learn all the different techniques, even between all of the southern states, about how they plant, grow, harvest, and market their rice. So I'll be looking at how we do things in California from a different perspective than I had before, and just seeing the unique differences between the two.
A lot of this stuff is pretty similar to Southeast Missouri, what I'm used to, and I lived 10 years down here in Northeast Arkansas, so I got to see a lot of the same stuff. But just talking to other people in the regions, just learning little tips, and there's always different ways to do something, and that's what I really like about this trip, especially riding around in a vehicle with people from California and Mississippi and Arkansas. That there's always something you can learn and take back home, and that's what I find interesting most about this, is just little tidbits that it's always been done this way in a certain area, and there's always a better way to do something, and that's what I really enjoy about this.
We've got a new application process coming up for the next Rice Leadership class, and what would you say to potential people that wanted to be a part of this program in the future?
I'd say don't look back. Apply for the program. So often we get, especially producers, that say, I can't devote that much time to being away from my farm. And today when you talk to those same people that have gone through the program, they say, I made it work, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
One of the things that the Rice Leadership class gets to do is they get to see the entire industry. They get to see every rice producing state. They get to hear from all the different segments and learn things that they didn't even know that they were missing out on. You hear graduates of the leadership class talk a lot about things that they didn't know existed, or you go to Colusa or Ridgeville, California, and then you go to Stuttgart and you realize how similar all of these places are and how all these communities really rely on the rice industry to thrive. So I think it's those similarities that you come out of the program with, and then just really understanding the breadth of what goes on and how complicated it is. Why some things are the way that they are. It all kind of makes a little bit more sense in the end.
I would encourage them to apply. It's a wonderful program. You learn a lot and you make a lot of great contacts. That was one of the first things that everybody told me in all the other classes is you make lifelong friends through this program.
Well, I do sustainability at Riceland Foods, and over the past probably 5 years, I've been able to be a part of the USA Rice industry, especially USA Rice Federation. I've really gotten to, I've had the chance to see more of the industry, and so this class was really a next step. At Riceland, we have a leadership class called Riceland in Depth for our young members, and I participated in that class, and it's just such a unique industry already. It's a small industry, and just getting to know everyone, making connections and being able to learn from one another. Because while we may compete, we're still in this together as a USA Rice industry, and so those connections will help going forward.
Dr. Linscombe, we appreciate all of the input, all of the benefits you have put into the rice industry through the years. First, in developing varieties and developing research and all of the advocacy that you've done, and now in leading these new leaders.
Yeah, and it's very rewarding, especially when you see people move up through the ranks of leadership in this industry. It just is, it's refreshing for an old guy like me to be able to spend time with these young people.
Well, thank you for doing it, and thank you for taking the time today to visit with us.
Thanks, Mark.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your trip.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we appreciate you having us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks for showing us around.
Sure.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.